Welcome back. It is your Feel Good Breakfast show, and on Tuesdays we love talking all things medical. Now imagine needing to receive an essential surgery and having that process delayed by the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Well, that is sadly the reality for many South Africans, as over 6,000 surgeries at Groote Hospital have not been able to be completed.
I mean, that's awful, right? And the Surgical Recovery Project, which has been pioneered by the Groote Hospital Trust, which is raising funds to fast-track the process. They are doing such an incredible job in that regard. Now, joining Expresso this morning to share more about all of this are the Head of General Surgery at Groote Hospital, Professor Lydia Cairncross, alongside medical doctor, TV personality, a friend of the show, trustee of the trust, Dr. Michael Moore. Good morning, Doctor, and good morning, Professor.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Great socks to be so.
Well, thank you.
Pink and shiny
Are these still your birthday presents?
So you got me a few,
I got him a whole selection.
Thank you. I didn't polish my shoes this morning. No,
it's okay. Prof. Lydia, I want to start with you. I mean, I can't believe we are reaching the 2-year mark since the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, and ever since the hospitals have been inundated with, resources being taken up by COVID-19. How has that affected the people, especially those needing essential surgeries?
Yeah, thanks, Zoe. So, of course, COVID's affected everybody, whether it's work, school, or having lost a loved one. But in the health system, what we experienced was that during a wave, thousands of patients would arrive literally gasping for breath, needing oxygen, ICU, high care. And we had to divert services towards that urgent need. So everything that wasn't a life or death emergency service was postponed or cancelled, including many, many operations. So there are operations that you can postpone for a few weeks, such as cataract surgery or joint replacement, some prostate operations, and a few weeks doesn't affect the patient significantly. But the problem is that we have a health system at capacity, and it's not a few weeks. So we have people coming into the system all the time who are now adding onto that load, and those that have been waiting due to COVID are still waiting. Many of them have been waiting for several months, and some of them, heartbreakingly, for several years for their operations.
So there's a big backlog.
Absolutely, it's a big backlog, but in that process, I imagine people do lose their lives in that process, but the frustration that comes with it for their families and their loved ones, but for the person as well. And that's why the Surgical Recovery Unit was pioneered by the Groote Hospital Trust.
Absolutely.
Why was that so important and so necessary? Of course, the obvious reason is that you have to save lives and you have to make sure that the system is able to carry and manage the pressure. But why was it such a priority?
Well, simply because it was. We have to do this. I mean, remember the early days of the vaccine when we queued up for hours to get our vaccine?
Yeah.
Now imagine you have pain, or imagine you're battling to see, or Lydia, you mentioned joint pain, needing a joint replacement, and you get into the queue and there are 6,000 people in that queue. Now that's disheartening, and what's worse is people come that are slightly more urgent than you are, and a little more pain, and they get to jump the queue, and so it just feels like it's never going to happen. Lydia mentioned several years waiting for surgery, so it's just a case of we had to do this. And what we're doing is raising funds to make sure there's an extra theatre available, extra staff available, so we can get through this queue, so you can get to the front and can get that essential surgery done. And it's a pioneering thing that Groote is doing. That's the nature of the hospital. We've always pioneered, and we hope that other hospitals are going to follow suit and go, that's a great idea. Yeah. Let's do the same thing. Let's create more capacity so we can actually get through the queue and not just kind of perpetuate this. Because 6,000 stays 6,000, as Lydia said. There are still new patients coming in all the time.
You want scale and you want impact that you can feel, that you can see almost immediately. I love that.
Yes. And I mean, earlier Tabiso mentioned the frustrations for not only the patient and their families, but I can imagine as the medical professionals yourself, the frustration you must be feeling. Prof. Lydia, in terms of I know you said there's constantly new people being added to that list, but what is being done right now by Groote to at least just try and help those who need surgery?
Thanks, Zoe. So right now we're trying very hard to get all our systems up to maximum capacity and beyond. We are triaging those patients that are most in need, patients with cancer, patients that are complicating as a result of their delays, and also those that have waited the longest, and trying to get through those operations. But as Michael has been saying, we can't do more than that. And without time in theatre, seeing a patient in clinic is not helpful. So you come to me and I say, I understand and I know what to do, and we have the skills and the equipment and the ability to help you with this, but I don't have the theatre time.
Yeah.
So what we are looking at is doing 1,500 operations over 1 year. It's a really ambitious project, but we think that we can do it. We've got the support of the Hospital Trust.
Yes.
We've got support of Gift of the Givers, who's donated 5 million, and we have the energy and passion of our surgical teams, and we think that we can do this. We can change the lives of these patients.
Well, this is inspiring. This is all-round inspiring to see that there's been so much work that's been done by the hospital's trust in that regard, but also to see the Gift of the Givers stepping in. 15 million rand is the goal, that's the target, but you've raised 5 million rand. And you want corporates to be a part of this. You want ordinary South Africans who are able to help in that regard step in and be part of it. How can they do so?
Yeah, to be so, you said it. I mean, what I love about the trust in the hospital is people often say, we should do something, or someone should do something. We are doing something. We have a plan, and it's a good plan.
Yes.
And it's going to cost us 15 million rand. Gift of the Givers has given us 5, so we're a third of the way there. We're looking for 10 more. And again, just appealing to South Africans, particularly corporates, I mean, we would really value your support. If you want to do something with those additional funds, here's a great cause. And aside from actually moving the needle and making a real difference in patients' lives, there is a tax benefit. So we can give you a Section 18A for your contribution. So whether you're part of a big corporate, whether you are part of a hiking club, we have a hiking club that's doing the Otter Trail at the end of the month, and they heard about the surgical recovery project, and they went, we want to invest, and so they've raised 100,000 rand.
Oh, man.
A big adventure, making a big difference, and that's really what we'd love you to do. So you can contribute, you can go to our website, there is a donations page, credit card, EFTs, you know, you can take bags of unmarked bills. In fact, we won't take that, though. Hey, no, that's maybe not anything else.
I'll take those.
Well, we have the website details on your screen right now. Dr. Michael Moll's not going anywhere. Prof. Lydia, it was so good to have you here as well. And what an important chat. So please, especially to the big corporates, if you watch this, make sure you visit their website and also help with a bit of a CSI redirection.